In this thought for the week, I want to think about when are we walking by faith? Enjoy. Do you know, a number of years ago I was involved in a church that was looking to buy the pub next door, and it was going to cost them around £300,000. They really sensed that God was calling them to do it, and so they looked to the congregation and asked them to raise the money, effectively, out of their own pockets. They held a gift day, and as a consequence of that gift day, they raised just about half the money, which was fantastic, an amazing figure. When I met the minister of that church and he told me that story, I began to rave about the step of faith that the church had taken, and he stopped me and he said, "No, what we've done is a step of faithfulness. Now begins the work of faith. How are we going to raise the other £150,000 to get the job done?" Now, do you know, that took me aback in a way, because the reality was I honestly thought that the people who had given were stepping out in faith. And at some level, and to some degree, they were. But you know, as I thought about it, I realised he was absolutely right. All that they had done is shown their faithfulness. They had given out of their plenty. They have given out of their ability to give. And that showed how faithful they were as a people. The next step was they had no idea how they were going to raise the rest of the money. In fact, the reality was, unless God showed up, unless God provided for the need, they were not going to be able to do what they sensed God was doing. It required, not only on the part of the minister, but on the part of the church, a step of faith. And so in this thought for the week, I'm drawing a distinction between faithfulness and walking by faith. I know the two are linked, but it seems to me that they are dramatically different. And it also seems to me that what we need in our day is not only the faithfulness of God's people, but their ability to step out in faith and look to do what is seemingly impossible for them to do without God showing up. Do you know, we're only believing when we are willing to put flesh on the bones of our faith, when we're willing to go, "Oh, this is a little scary," but we're still going to step out into the unknown. We're still going to step out and do something that seems humanly impossible to do. I wonder how often you're doing that in terms of your leadership, how much your church is willing to take the risk. Because in a sense, it's sort of all or nothing, isn't it? We either walk by faith or we fall under our own strength and our own abilities. If we're going to move the church forward, not just your church, not just my church, but the church forward in the West, then it's going to require courageous steps of faith on the part of God's people. And that starts with you and me. Hope you found this thought for the week helpful and it's made you think. That's the most important thing. If you have, then you might like to share it with others, and certainly press that like button and affirm us in what we're seeking to communicate. And you may like to follow us. We're producing videos like this all the time.